first pool of the day on Friday. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 leaves still on the bottom, but yeah, we've brushed, we've done this whole thing, and this pool cleans up really nice despite we've had some Santa Ana winds here. So let's see. So here in Culprit, I talked about yesterday, here's our cold water cutoff, right? So when you see this red light here, that means your Pentair salt cell is not producing any chlorine. So that being said, let's take our chems here. Let's take our chems, and we'll take our salt as well. All right, so yeah, the homeowner and I have talked about, like, let's turn it all the way down, and as you can see, or maybe didn't see earlier in the salt cell, the salt cell was at 20%, so that's 3250, and that's definitely enough to be making some chlorine. And you know, those are like a 1, right? Right? Look at that. No, actually it's a 0.5, and then the free is like, yeah, low, low, low. And then if you remember, I added about a quarter acid last week here, just to knock the pH down, and of course that did just fine. We have plenty of alkalinity, and our cyanuric is perfect. This pool is pretty much done. I'm just kind of moving towards the exit to skedaddle, but yeah, everything looks good here. Everything looks great. Starting to see a little bit of the calcium build up there on some of the grout lines or on the spillway, but otherwise Hayward Aquanaut 250 works, 2-wheel drive, works really good here, and helps keep everything nice and clean. So now let's move on to stop 2, which is a new customer, different kind. Okay, so now we are on to our new stop 2 on Friday, which is a hot tub. This is my only hot tub on my route, and one of the reasons I took this was not only is that this is one of my neighbors, but this is a almost exact same hot tub as the one that I have in my backyard. So a little bit different. I almost feel funny charging these people for this type of service, because it's something that you can really do by yourself. You know, first off, you got to keep your feet clean. Okay, you're going into a hot tub. The circulation and filtration is a lot different. It's really meant to just filter the water, and maybe like your body oil and things like that. You know, don't have any suntan lotion, don't have any, you know, excessive hair care products, makeup, things like that. You don't want to put that in here. So okay, let's pop the top here, and yeah, you can see now. It's funny, I did a filter clean on this thing here too. There's actually 2 cartridge filters in right here. So you can see that the filter, or excuse me, the pump is running, and you know, the water is being, I guess to some extent, lightly filtered. But anyway, let me bust out the test strips and see. I can tell that there's no chemicals in here. I don't know if anybody's used it. It looks like it has been used, because this is brand new water. By the way, I failed to mention, when I took over on, I guess it was Saturday, I did both filters, drained all of the water, scrubbed everything, and then refilled with hose water, right? And so the homeowner has a water softener, which is obviously adding a lot of salt to the water, raising the pH. So she shut off the system for me. We were allowed to fill up the pool, or the hot tub rather, and go from there. So let me cut and take the chems here real quick. Okay, here are our chems. So yeah, somebody probably did use it. Yeah, no chlorine. That's cool. And a high-ish pH. That's probably like an 8, a little bit maybe over a 7-8. So I am gonna add a tiny bit of liquid chlorine and even a tinier, like a teaspoon of muriatic acid. Now what I do with my pool, with my hot tub rather, I actually stick a 3-inch chlorinating tablet in here. Now, if you are a hot tub professional, I am not a hot tub professional. I'm a pool and spa guy. The hot tub world is something, it's different. When I go to my wholesaler, I actually can't buy parts like the pump or whatever, the heater, things like that. I can't buy those things at my wholesaler. There's two different worlds. So anyway, comment below if you have anything to add to that. But like I said, I'm just gonna chem it. It's totally, you can see there's not a speck in here. I recommend it to the homeowner, like, hey, make sure that the feet are really dirty. Unfortunately, we had all the rains and all of this schmutz came in here into this courtyard from, the roof, right? The roof is full of dust. We had a major storm. It goes over the, whatchamacallit? Oh my goodness. Look at that. All of the downspouts, all the rain gutters, they go in here. And I don't know if there's a drain under there. I sure would hope so. Okay, so this will probably be like the longest stop here at this that I will ever have. But look at this crystal clear water. So if these skimmers, this is the skimmer here, right? You see how this thing has got the Venturi or Bernoulli effect? And okay, that's what it's doing. This thing finds the level, right? And then it's sucking it in, right? So like I said, there's 2 cartridge filters, one in each one of these covers. Okay, so I got them all covered. I have hit the reset button. I hit the reset button on the filter here. I added a splash of chlorine and I added a even tinier splash of muriatic acid. What I think we're going to do here in the future is we'll get a floater and then we'll do a 1-inch chlorinating tablet, which once again, they're a 2-for-1. They actually a 3-for-1 in that they will chlorinate the pool or chlorinate your body of water here, in this case our hot tub. They will raise your cyanuric acid, which is something you definitely need, but it'll also knock down the pH in the true sense. It'll keep it right there at like a 7.2, 7.4 is what you want. So anyway, we're done and we are out. Okay, good morning from stop 3, Square Pool, Perimeter Overflow Spa, and wow. There is a lot of staining on that. That's the way it's been since I took this pool over. Pool is not over chlorinated, but it was over salted, like big time. So, like I said before, this pool was 7,400 parts per million. The last guy was just added salt way too much. Probably no salt meter, but with the child fence, like I said, this pool stays really clean, but there is a lot of dust. Here we are on a hill, and so yeah, we got to check our perimeter trough here, but yeah, we're just 1 week or 5 days out from a filter clean here. So we have our auto filler and skimmer on this side here. So I'm gonna get to work, but first, let's take our chemicals. Okay, let's take our chemicals here. I'm gonna do the test strip first. Okay, well, it's warmed up a good 10 degrees this week in air temp and subsequently in water temp. Okay, so that is 3,400 even right there. And we can see that we don't have a whole lot, but there is a semblance of something here. I'm gonna add some liquid. And in fact, I might have the salt cell turned very low, just to make sure that we didn't have like some excess. I don't like to run them at 100% all year long, especially if families don't use them like that. So anyway, I'm gonna add, let's add a gallon right here, because this right here, what you're seeing here, this means to me that someone used the spa. Is that last night, maybe even the spa was used. So let's go over here, our death-defying axe here. Okay, so like I always do, is I will add this whole gallon right here to the stairs, and then I'm gonna run the pool while I'm here, and then I'm gonna hit the reset button like I have it at the Big Fatty, because my homeowner had mentioned that when I hit an egg timer and then leave, this seems to do this. And what I mean is it go to this level, whereas every other time I've been here, the water level is like up to here. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna skim it. There's a lot of dust, but not much in it. And then I'm gonna hit the pump basket and we will move on to stop 4. Okay, actually we are good to go here. There's a tremendous amount of dust. And the pool starts up at 9, which is not long from now. All that dust will go away. The circulation of the pool really helps that out. But in the meantime, this pool is chemmed. We did add a little bit of chlorine, as you saw, over there by the stairs. So yeah, we're good to go, and we're gonna move on to stop 4. Right on. Well, check this out. Here we are at stop number 4. Let me calculate that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we're at 4. And you know, check it out. They're starting to complete their landscaping and stuff. I love it. I don't love that, whatever that is. It looks like an olive tree. But yeah, that's nice. And privacy with that little cheek wall they did there. Very nice. And I guess they're installing some turf over there. They've actually put a concrete walkway, so hey, I won't have to walk in dirt anymore. I really appreciate that. I know they didn't do it for me, but check it out. The Pentair Rebel is doing a great job. He doesn't get over there in the corner too often, but that's okay. That's what I can do. But once again, infinity pool. I find it so funny about this pool. It's very interesting how this thing works. This is the water leveling system is called a levelor, right? So it is an electronic device that electronically senses the water, and it is under there. And that cover is so heavy that there's no way that I can move it by myself. In fact, I've heard that I've never seen it move, and I've heard that it took 3 strong guys, much stronger than me, to move it. So my point is that it does the level of the water, right? And I swear, every time I come, this water level is different. And it just, like, I know the leveler is doing good because it keeps the level of the pool here, which is what it's supposed to do. That's fine. But I just find it so odd that after the rain, I mean, this was way up high, like maybe an inch or two below the tile line. So that is way high, and now it has equalized itself. What I wanted to know is, where did the water go? And why was it evacuated? Once again, the builder was here doing, you know, this phase 2 thing of, the builder of the pool was doing this phase 2 thing of the landscaping, pouring the concrete and whatnot. More sabotage, you know, more people messing with my pool, which I tell you what, folks, you do that enough, you're not going to be my customer any longer. I'm going to just tell you, the one thing that I tell people who I break up with is, let's just pass and part as friends. These people, they run the pool from 5 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. And like I've said before, that's okay during the winter. I mean, this is their pool. They can do whatever they want. Human sacrifice, you know, the whole thing. It's none of my business. But I do manage the pool, and if you're going to do your own thing, then I'm going to let you do your own thing by yourself. And that's the phrase. If you ever hear from me, let's just pass and part as friends, that means I'm breaking up with you. Okay, here we are in the deep end. We're going to do our chems and take our salt. So let's get our tab here. And viewers, if you remembered me saying something about pools that don't hold on to the chemicals, this would be one of them. Okay, I always have tabs in the trough here, so there's always chlorine. Now that's a good level of for a winter pool, I suppose. But I mean, during the summer, I have fought algae here in this corner, and you know, I keep up on my filter cleans. This pool has 2 filters, one for the pool and one for the trough. Okay, so it's got plenty of filtration. My issue is that they have kids who, they're not little pee-pee kids. There's pee-pee. Okay, I know the signs, and when I add like 2 gallons, which I have done, the Hayward salt cells they just do not produce the way the Jandy and the Pentaires do. So anyway, I'm going to stop prattling on. I'm going to do my work, and I'll move on to across the street here at stop 5. Okay, so we're out of here. We've chemmed it. I still have to go to the pump baskets, which are on the other side of the house, but yeah, so pool looks beautiful. I added a gallon over there to the corner, and to this corner there is a tab in that floater. And yeah, this is a modern pool with a salt cell, but it is a Hayward salt cell. It just doesn't do it for me. Even when I had 3,600 parts per million in this pool, the salt cell wasn't doing it for me. I was still adding liquid on a weekly basis during the summer, fighting algae over here, and yeah, it was a nightmare. And I don't fight algae, so that's the whole deal. So I wanted to talk about this infinity pool. I have another infinity pool coming up on my next stop. And so when you build an infinity pool, you're building 2 pools. 1, 2, right? This little pool has everything that the big pool has in it, just less of it and smaller. So the point is that when you're in a Hayward pool, not a Jandy pool, well, I can't speak to Jandy because I don't know the answer to that question, but when you're in a Pentaire environment, you can run this pump, and then you can run this pump individually, right? They are not intertied like this one. Okay, so Hayward has what's called a they're linked, right? These are, oh shoot, I forgot the name that Hayward uses, but they are they're locked. Okay, so when one runs, the other one has to run as well, and I don't like that. That is why these homeowners, you know, nickel and dime and run the pump in odd hours because they're trying to save money, and that to me is a complete bummer. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the other side, empty the pump baskets, and move on. We have 2 Pool RXs here too. Okay, we have the Pool RX blue and white and the Pool RX black and white, and then we got 3 pumps here. So anyway, I'm gonna clean it up and move on. Okay, so here we are at the equipment. Hayward. Hey man, Hayward is good stuff. Okay, but here's the regular circulation pump for the pool, and here is the pump and its own filter canister for the edge. So once again, you're running 2 pumps concurrently. This is what is called locked, and it's a Hayward thing, and it's something to consider. Okay, I actually don't think I've ever shown you Hayward pumps priming up. Maybe there's one Omni system I had, but this one, let's see this prime up. I'm gonna borrow some water from the spa. See, that pumps up pretty dang quick. And there's no check valve here. Of course, the equipment is on the same grade as the pool. And here we have our edge pump, and it's priming up. All right, we're here back at the spool, and spool does pretty good. Just a little dust. Yeah, I was chatting with homeowners and chatting with you, so I'm a little bit behind. I'm gonna get going. I don't have any corgi care at the house today, so let's do our chems and we'll get this one cleaned up and sparkling. Hey, and let's talk about something I spoke about just the other day. We talked about our mastic, right? And how we want to hold our builders' feet to the fire and make sure that we get what we paid for. This customer did not, which does not surprise me for this builder, actually. You know, I could do this for her, but once again, I'm not a car salesman. I'm not in it to make money off people. If she needs me to do it, I'll be happy to do it for probably what half of what other people would charge. But yeah, that's really important. You can't let your builder just skate out of town and not give you, you know, let's consider this is 2% of the whole job, and you're just gonna forego 2%? I don't think so. I sure as hell wouldn't do that. So 4,300 4,300 parts per million. And hey, look at it, we have tons of ORP here, and we have plenty of chlorine and a perfect pH. Alkalinity is great, and cyanuric is perfect, bang on. So anyway, I'm gonna brush it, and this this spool will be perfect. Okay, well, and no insult to the homeowner here, but the spool is kind of like me, one-dimensional. You know, it's not super interesting, but it is beautiful. So anyway, yeah, let's get moving on. We're done here. As you saw, we have plenty of chemicals. I just brushed all the whatever. It's really like grain, little tiny rocks, almost like sand, that I just brushed right into the main drains there, and then move on. Okay, we're here at our brand new infinity pool here. Does anybody in the class want to say what's going on here and what's wrong? Yeah, the time is 9:30, 9:15, definitely past 9. And yeah, you're killing me, people. You are absolutely killing me. Okay, so it's in auto mode. We have the IntelliTouch, not the Easy Touch. Easy Touch has the LCD. IntelliTouch has been around for much longer. So anyway, 3 pumps, not one of them are working. This is actually where the I would consider this the deep end. So let's take our chems. Now here's something to notice while I'm here at this position. We're typically looking at mastic, right? But they don't have mastic here. They have this little grass synthetic turf strip, and you know, I like the way it looks. In 5 years it's not going to look so hot, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. And okay, brand new pool. So we got like a, you know, like a 0.5 and a 0.5, and our salt, yeah. So it's still cold, and it's 2,800, and I saw like almost 3,200 last week. So what I'm going to do is hold off until we have a couple of bags of salt over there. I'm going to hold off on adding those things until the weather gets a little warmer, and I feel like it's actually going to do some work. Today we're going to sanitize with liquid, and I'm going to add it to the trough to try to make those stains go away. Okay, as promised, we're going to add some chlorine over here to the trough, and I only want to add it to the trough today because I'm trying to get rid of these stains here. My homeowner had sent me a photo of this, so obviously this is an area of concern for him, and I did say that thyme and chlorine would help these stains go away. So I'm going to add the chlorine that I promised, and then I'm going to come back here and brush. Okay, so I guess it was a little bit of algae, but there's also still some staining going on there. It is dirt, but yeah, that's much improved. But you know, notice the different attributes of this trough in opposition to our last stop. This is much more shallow. Yeah. So anyway, that's a lot of that staining went away with just a little bit of ORP. Okay, so we're gonna brush our whole deal. Yeah, this is looking good. Who knows how long it's been since this was circulating, so I mean, yeah. So in instances like this, what I'm going to do is use what's called the timeout. So in Pentair terms, you got auto mode, you got service mode, and then you have timeout. So service mode will be in service mode until you tell it to go back to auto mode. Timeout is basically service mode for 3 hours, right? And what the 3 hours is significant for is that it locks the homeowner out for 3 hours. So if they were to go on their screen logic and try to operate the pool, it's going to tell you So it's very important, especially if you were to do something like add a lot of acid, you need to do mixing, and say you were to do it at like 4 p.m. and when the pump is off, that pool still needs to circulate, and timeout would be perfect for that. Cleaner's running around, and we're out of here. I added a gallon of chlorine because salt cell wasn't working. Salt was 2,600, and there was like a 0.5 on it, and you can see we're in full sun, and we need some chlorination. So we're gonna do that, and we've done that, and we'll move on. Okay, here we are, second to last spot, rectangular pool with a spill over spa and a electronic cover. So yeah, the level is still low. I adjusted the autofill when I was here to help my homeowner out of their emergency. I adjusted the autofill so it would not be continually, they said they weren't going to be home, and so I'm going to readjust it so it will start. Oh, whoops, okay. So I adjusted the autofiller to fill to this level that I like, which is the level that's really near the spa. Okay, it doesn't do us any good to have this. This is what I don't like right here. You see this guy? See this elbow right here? Okay, every time when the water level is low and the pool cover is coming at you, it's coming at a level that's too low, and this is going to cause, over time, this little elbow, that's going to cause the cover to rip. It's going to cause the cover to wear quicker. So we got to get the water level up, and that's priority number one. Now, what that's going to do is dilute our water. It's going to lower the salt level, and our chlorinator, our salt cell generator, is not going to be able to produce chlorine quite as easy. So that being said, no, it's getting pretty warm here. I mean, it's not 100 degrees, but it's all of like 75, 78 here, right here in my face. Anyway, so we're gonna, I never like to have an autofiller working just continuously to bring up the pool a lot in my absence. I don't like that. So I did this on Monday, or I came over whenever it was, on Saturday or Monday, and fixed our issue. But you hear it? It's still running. It's still running. Now I'm gonna run around. I'm at home here. I'm like 100 yards away from my house. So at 4 o'clock, when this pool is supposed to be off, I'm gonna make my another little rounds, and I'm gonna just check. I have another, the pool that we went to before, I'm gonna check that after 4 as well, because we have some startup issues with that one as well. But like I said, we're gonna get the water level up so that elbow will not be ripping our cover. Okay, let's take our chems. Let's go over here and we'll put our salt cell right on the new mastic. Ooh, nice. Okay, so you know, I'm not going to use this channel to talk trash about builders, but this is one of the worst mastic jobs I've ever seen in my life. And okay, so there's low chlorine, but that's okay. Winter pool, nobody's swimming right now, but high pH, good alkalinity, and oddly enough, good cyanuric. So, and this water is like, 3 months old, so our total hardness is right within parameters, and that's 2200 parts per million. Okay, that has gone down even more since last week, just because of the introduction of all kinds of new unsalted water. So I'm not going to add anything today, because I know that the homeowner is not going to be using the pool this weekend, and we don't necessarily have to, do big stuff to sanitize. But like I said again, water level, water level, water level. So I was talking trash about this mastic job, which I was so excited about last weekend, and I saw this last week, but sometimes I like to just, keep on a positive tip and not always go negative. I'm the angry pool man, but I don't have to be the negative pool man. So once again, here's our mastic job. Like I said, this is one of the worst mastic jobs I've ever seen. It's better to have a bad mastic job than none at all, right? A couple stops ago, at the spool, I showed you that there was still foam in here, and that's what a lot of builders do. That's standard operating procedure. Okay, that being said, that's not what is supposed to leave, or that's not what they're supposed to leave with you. Okay, you're supposed to get this mastic That's part of the deal. That's what you're supposed to be, that's what you're paying for, okay? Okay, water is still clean. We have yet to do a filter clean here because the pool still needs its first filter clean, but we're only like a month or two out of putting water in this pool. So in the next 2 weeks, we'll get one done. But right now the water is crystal clear and we can move on. Okay, I always send my customers links to Amazon. Trying to get into this affiliate program and maybe do something for my retirement. But no, I mean, I want people to make their own choices. You can buy them from me. I do not mark them up, but you can buy these on Amazon. This is a Pool RX, and this is for pools up to 20,000 gallons. This is the one that has the zinc in it as well. I'm going to add this to this pool. You just, oh, that's good. That was a good place to put the spigot. You just add this. You just add it to the pump basket like so, and lock her in there. Like I said, she works for 6 months, and that will help fight algae and hold on to our chlorine. Okay, now that's an awful lot of air in that pump basket for a Pentair. But anyway, so we're out of here. We have brushed everything. We're purging lots of air in the system out of this return line. Okay, so that's purging all the air. That won't be doing that much longer. And if you can hear, yes, there's still, the water will be filling. This will be filling all day. Like I said, I'm going to come back today at 4 and check it out. And this is something that you should not expect your pool man to do. This is what I do for my neighbors that, you know, are within spitting distance from my house. I do this because, like I said, I feel this is the right thing to do. I'm providing extra value for my neighbors, and this is why they would go with me in opposition to somebody else. Okay, last stop of the day on Friday here at the Perimeter Overflow Pool. And I ran into the homeowner here. They were taking a walk past my house, and I said, "Howdy, how's it going?" And they said, "Oh yeah, the builder came by and replaced a breaker, circuit breaker." That was what our issue was. Okay, that was why this pool, was not running when I got here last week. That's why it hasn't been running in weeks past. So kudos to the builder. And you know what? I'm no longer going to give any information out of builders. If you guys want to contact me in a direct message or something like that, then I'll be happy to share what I know. But yeah, when I have had contact with Morgan Family Pools or Boyer Pools, they were dicks. And so I'm not going to advertise for people who are rude to me, especially when I'm doing their bidding, helping them out. So no more of that. But what we will be doing is keeping this pool and every other pool sparkling clean. And the way we're going to do that today is same old thing. We're going to brush and everything else. Pentair Rebel is doing a spectacular job. But one thing that I am going to do, because unfortunately my homeowner hasn't done it through an Amazon link, is the Pool RX. So we're going to add the Pool RX here today. In fact, let's add it right now. Okay. Oh, he got it himself. It's here. Oh my. Okay. Well, no big deal. Okay, this is great. So he did get it himself. Oh no, this is the old one that I added last week. Okay, yes. Okay, since there was an old one in there, let's take our chems. Okay, I forgot I had an old one that I found in the back of the truck, and I threw it in there. So let's take our chems and see if that old Pool RX, let's see what it was doing. Okay. All right, so yeah, wasn't really doing much. Once they're dead, they are dead. So, all right, this pool is down to 1,500 parts per million. We have that's about a 7.8 or 8.0 pH. So I am going to add a little acid, just a tiny bit. We don't usually add a whole lot of acid during the winter time, but what I am going to do is I'm going to add a whole gallon of chlorine, and I'm going to add it to this skimmer, because I don't know if you can see in here, there's still a tiny bit of algae inside this skimmer. And okay, so I'm going to add some over here, and then let's go over on the complete other side of the pool. And I don't know, you guys can't see this with the GoPro, but I'm looking in there and I can still see algae in here, right? And if you remember, when I took this pool over, it was green. So you know, I don't have a whole lot of perimeter overflow anythings. This is easily my newest. We have a perimeter overflow spa and whatnot. And now actually I've seen some other perimeter overflow pools and spas, and they're great, but this is the first one for one on my route. So I'm going to start the pool back up again with our new Pool RX. We've added a gallon. Let's go over here and we'll bust out our new Pool RX. And this is from me, not Amazon. I don't mark these up. I charge $75 for this one, and this is the same price that you can get it on Amazon today. So, okay, yeah, I'm gonna pick that up on the way out. Don't worry, okay? You know how I roll. Okay, we're just gonna add that Pool RX to our pump basket. Okay, so, and there we go. And I'm gonna hit it on quick clean, because I want that chlorine that I just added to broadcast everywhere it possibly can, as fast as it can in the pool. Once again, pool only. There's no automation here, right? We don't need it. We have our salt cell. Once again, low salt. All of my pools have low salt right now. Don't freak out. Okay, pool's purging the air. So let's commence with brushing. Now, we're not gonna see like a big improvement right here and now. We already have crystal clear water, but you know, we read our test strip, right? And it indicated that we have barely any chlorine in here, right? So we have to sanitize the pool week to week, and if we have to add liquid chlorine, then that's what we're gonna do. We don't want to be doing that every week, because that's not a good investment. Okay, we're in business, but certainly do not want to go out of business. Yeah, water looks great here. Keep bonking my GoPro with my hands. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's do the corners here. We don't have to get nuts. Yeah, that's funny. I can see down there into the overflow, and it's like, yeah, it's definitely green in there. And yeah, see, check that right there. See this in here? See how green that is? The nylon bush is not super effective for that, but that's good. Okay, we've brushed her. These walls, like I've said before, are super vertical, and but keep the filter clean. This pool will stay crystal clear. All right, you guys, once again, we're here at the end of another week, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch another one of my videos. You know, it means a lot to me. So, you know, tell a friend, comment, like, and if you haven't, please subscribe. I really appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week.